Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Lance Johnson coming to you once again, giving you an update on the podcast and the progress that I've been able to make over the past few months. Now I'm about 6 episodes deep, which is a great accomplishment because it took me a lot of work to get there, and so I'm proud of myself for getting to this point. But now it's at the point to where I have to focus solely on reaching out to guests, seeing who would be available for the recording of a new podcast episode. And so it was a lot of foundation building in the beginning. And if I was going to go back and tell myself anything, which is why I feel like it's best to put this video out for someone who's out there maybe looking to start a podcast and they don't know what to expect, or they don't know what hurdles they're going to have to jump over when the time comes. But in the beginning, I did a lot of, I guess you would say, worked on the learning curve. And so I did a lot of reading, a lot of planning as far as what direction that I want to go in, as far as like the niche and also who the target audience is. And I spent I would say about 2 months actually on going through this entire process. And I'll show you once again the journal that I've been using. And it's the podcast journal, and it's from John Lee Dumas, also known as JLD, from Entrepreneur on Fire. And he pretty much put it together to help people like me, and possibly you if you're going to start a podcast, to help us pretty much organize our strategy and plan of attack to where we can go in and be setting ourselves up for the most success possible, rather than going into it blind and starting recording without any real direction. And so it was extremely helpful. And I'm telling you, man, it's something that I don't like to harp on when it comes down to the planning and, like, you know, the foundation type of stage. But man, and this is, I promise you, it's really important. Do not take it lightly, because you can get your podcast started and realize that it's going to be very difficult for you to monetize in the future. It's going to be very difficult for you maybe even to target your audience, to market your podcast, to actually get some traction to where you're actually getting a lot of downloads and people are actually listening to your podcast. And so all of these things taken into account, you really want to be as strategic as possible when it comes to your start and the foundation that you lay. Because if you don't, you have to bag it on up, and you'll have to start all over and figure out a better way to go about it. And so that's something that I'm glad that I slowed down and I really took it serious as far as when it comes to who do I want to be in this podcast, what type of podcast host do I want to be, and what's the structure and all that going to be. But as far as when it comes to May 9th, compared to January 9th, when I really got going and started taking it serious as far as me putting in the work to make it happen, what advice would I give myself and what would I warn myself about? It would be, oh man, there are a few things I'm just trying to prioritize mentally, but definitely at the top of the list, it would be to be patient, because it's so hard not to want to speed things up and work harder to make things go a little faster. But I've learned for myself, it's a lot better to be patient throughout this process. And so, for example, I wanted to jump off and record 4 or 5 podcasts a week to get started, but I realized that it's better for me to hone my skills as a podcast host and really focus on getting quality guests for my podcast so that my content doesn't suffer. And so if I would have jumped into my podcast and wanted to push out 5 new podcast posts each week from the jump, maybe it would have worked long term. But as far as when it comes to my expectation, without hindering my action and slowing myself down, I think for my audience, the people that I'm targeting, which is social media influencers, people who are trying to grow an influence online and really monetize and make money from it, it's best to have value and teach in the best way possible with the people who will be able to serve those influencers out there who are looking to grow, such as someone maybe at 10,000 or 12,000 followers on Instagram who's been blogging for about 6-7 months, but they're at the stage to where now they are looking to, or they're having their first connections, their first contact with those brands who are actually like, okay, we see that you got a great feed, and we love to actually, do a collaboration with you, but at the same time, we just want to send it to you for free, and we just want you to post twice. And getting over the hump to where you can be like, we don't do that. I don't do that no more. I know my value. I know my worth. I'm going to charge you this amount. Maybe it'd be $150 to start out per Instagram post. And what I'm going to do is also throw in a free blog. Also, I'm going to shoot a quick YouTube video and throw in maybe 3 to 5 Instagram stories to make it worth your while and make it worth really get the bang for your buck. And so, in the beginning, just going on this topic as far as the influencers, giving away more to get paid is something that you can definitely do. And this is something that I want to lay out in the podcast as far as when it comes to what strategies, what tips you can go about when it comes to monetizing your following or your influence on social media, and really getting it to the point where down the road, maybe it be 18 months, 24 months, you're making a full-time income from it. But the goal, my mission is to make that option available to you. Going to your 9 to 5, it's best to have an option. Okay, I don't have to be here. I'm here because I want to be here and I love what I'm doing here. But when I have a podcast guest on my podcast, Champion Influencers podcast, if you haven't subscribed, please do yourself a favor, and you're welcome. That's all I'm gonna say, because I'm going to be pushing to get the best content, the best value to help you get from point A to point B wherever you're at, and you be able to slide through and look at all the episodes, all the interviews, and see like, oh, okay, I can really use this right now. For example, with myself, I interviewed someone with one of the top 25 podcasts in the business category on iTunes. His name is Travis Chappell. And he really put me on game as far as when it comes to the approach that I should have from the beginning. And normally I only have about a 30-minute podcast or so, but this guy was laying so much knowledge. I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep asking questions, and we're just going to make this a part 1, part 2. We're going to double it up. And so if you guys want to check that out, go to Champion Influencer Podcast on iTunes, or go to championinfluencer.com, and you'll see Travis Chappell. And he's pretty much letting you know what you can do to monetize as a podcaster. And I have 2 parts. So it's going to be episode 4 and episode 5. And so check it out. Let me know what you think. But getting back to what I was saying about the podcast, my goal, my mission is to have people who are of influence already and are absolutely out there, bam, killing the game, not holding anything back. They're seasoned veterans. They're actually, consistent. They don't, go away for months at a time. They use the best practices. They don't have fake followers and this and that. And they're making great money from what they do, and they absolutely love it. And you can follow them on whatever, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, any of the YouTubers out there. You can follow them and actually see that, man, they're actually killing it. They're having a great time. And so I need to get to that point. I'm going to interview them, and I'm going to pretty much pull out of them with my genius questions what strategies, what tips has worked best for you, and how can you, as far as when it comes to somebody who is starting at maybe at a lower level, or someone who's on the climb, like Miley Cyrus, it's the climb, because it's always about the climb, baby. Who's on the climb, what strategies, what tips, what advice would you give yourself if you were to go back and tell yourself the best 2 to 3 maybe golden nuggets that you can give yourself from the jump? What would it be? And they'll let you know what to focus on. Like Travis was really talking about the consistency and also outsourcing when it comes to podcasting. But when I do this, you know, getting up to 5 times a week is the goal, and pushing out, you know, hundreds of episodes every quarter of each year, getting all the way up to 500, 600, 700 episodes. What I'm going to do is put all this information together and kind of put like a course slash guide for you guys to be able to take advantage of, to get yourself the knowledge that you need to be able to monetize and level up. And, you know, this is a plan in action. I don't plan to charge and, you know, it's going to be $7,000. No, I'm going to be giving it away definitely for free until I feel like it's at the point where I've invested so much of my time to where I have to get my value in return. And so the goal is to educate, inspire, and encourage you to get to where you want to go as an influencer. I promise you, where you're at right now is not where you'll always be, but it is. If you stay in the same mindset, you keep the same knowledge, and you keep doing the same things that you're doing. Consistency is key. And if you would allow me, I'd love to help you get to where you want to be. Please hit me up in the comments. I want to know what you'd like to learn from some of those influencers out there. Whether you're, you know, a girl who is, oh, I love fashion, I want to do a fashion blog on Instagram, but I only have a few thousand followers. How do I get to that next level? Let me know like what area that you want to gain knowledge in, or really learn about as far as when it comes to strategy and, you know, getting to that next level. What tools maybe that, you know, you'd like to learn about that the best YouTubers use, or the best speakers, or whatever it may be. Let me know in the comments. Hit me up on my Instagram. It's Lance Johnson _. Or you can go to championinfluencer.com and, you know, hit me up on the contacts. I'm available everywhere, pretty much. Instagram, Facebook, Lance Johnson, the Lance Johnson page. And then you got on Instagram, Lance Johnson _, as well as my YouTube channel. I'll leave a link in the description and all that for you can go and find me. But I need to know what areas as an influencer you want to improve, or you are most concerned about getting to a level to where you can maybe make money from it, or whatever concern you may have. Let me know. I'll be glad to help out. I'll go out and seek and find those guys. I'm actually, if you come over here, bam. This is how crazy I am. This is my champion influencer guest outreach chart. And today I plan on doing five sets of 5. And so I'll do all the way to 25. I'll reach out to 25 influencers through email. I'll come back, take a break, because breaks are important. Don't burn yourself out. Then I'll do it again. At the end of the day, I'd like to reach out to 100 influencers to get pretty much a guest, to get the quality guest that I'm going after. But I'm just all about that massive action right now, and really trying to get these interviews lined up so you guys can really blast off, take advantage of 2019 and 2020. Oh my God, it's going to be a whole new world for you. I promise you that. Stick with me. Let me know once again in the comments. And hey, my champion influencers, be your best. Success, nothing less, baby.